So yesterday I told you about the alkanes. So next are the alkenes. So what are alkenes? Alkenes are the hydrocarbons, basically are the hydrocarbons in which there is carbon-carbon double bond. As the valency of carbon is 4, so after putting these double bonds, each carbon is left to form the two bonds. Two out of 4 bonds, 2 bonds are formed by carbon with other carbon, and the remaining 2 bonds it can form with the hydrogen or some other carbon or in other manner. So these are the alkenes. So this is the basic alkene, which is C2H4. This is called ethene. So you can write propene, butene, hexene, heptene or other alkenes. So there may be 2 or more double bonds in a single hydrocarbon or alkenes. So the first reaction of alkenes is the dehydrohalogenation of alkyl halides. So first reaction is dehydrohalogenation of alkyl halides. So dehydrohalogenation means D means removal. D word mean here removal. So removal of hydrogen and halogen from alkyl halide. So if you have been given any alkyl halides are basically alkanes having halide as the substituent present. So this is the alpha carbon on which heteroatom is present. The carbon on which heteroatom is present is called alpha carbon, and carbon adjacent to it is called beta carbon. So there is the dehydrohalogenation by when we treat this alkyl halide with the alcoholic potassium hydroxide, alcoholic KOH, it gives us dehydrohalogenated form. So this is dehydrohalogenated form, and this is called alkene because presence of this carbon-carbon double bond plus salt potassium halide plus molecule of water is also formed. So when an alkyl halide molecule with beta carbon is refluxed with concentrated alcoholic solution of strong base like potassium hydroxide, a molecule of HX is removed and an alkene is formed. So this is the basically dehydrohalogenation. So for example, if we take ethyl bromide, first we have to write the formula of ethyl bromide. Ethyl bromide means eth means there are 2 carbon, so ethyl, and we can put this halogen at any of these 2 carbon, the compound will remain same, that ethyl bromide, there will be no change. We will put this bromine on this carbon. So this is the simpler type of the alkyl halide. This is called ethyl bromide. When we will treat it with the alcoholic potassium hydroxide, it will result in the formation of ethene. Plus KBr plus water H2O. So this is the ethyl, this is ethyl bromide, and from ethyl bromide ethene is formed. So next example is propyl bromide, that is prop means prop word means 3 carbon, so 1, 2 and 3. So for propyl bromide we can write bromine this is the propyl bromide. So this is the first carbon, this is second and third carbon. If you will put this bromine on this carbon, the name of the compound will change, but basic root of the name will remain same, that is propyl. Prop means 3 carbons and if you will put this bromine on this carbon at any of the position, either on this hydrogen or on this or on this place, the name will remain same, that is propyl bromide. So when you will treat it with the alcoholic potassium hydroxide, it will result in the formation of propene. So this is called propyl bromide. The reaction is an example of 1,2 elimination and involving elimination of halogen atom and of a hydrogen atom from beta carbon adjacent to one losing the halogen. So this is called 1,2 elimination because the carbon on which hetero atom is present is called alpha carbon and carbon adjacent to it is called beta carbon. So the halogen and hydrogen both are removed, that is dehydrohalogenation. So this is called 1,2 elimination because both the leaving removed group are present on the first and second carbon. So these are called 1,2 elimination reaction. Elimination means removal. Eliminate word is the simple meaning of the eliminate word is the removal. So this is elimination or dehydrohalogenation. What are eliminated? Hydrogen plus halogen are eliminated. So particularly they are called dehydrohalogenation reactions, and generally they are called elimination reaction, 1,2 elimination reaction. So in some cases dehydrohalogenation yields single alkene. So in some cases like this. This is called but1ene plus KBr plus H2. This is called dehydrohalogenation where but1ene is formed, whereas when single product is formed, our focus is on the number of the products. There is here single product is formed, here is also single product is formed, here is also single product formed. But if we will take 2-bromobutene this is 1-bromobutene because bromine is present on the first carbon, whereas this is 2-bromobutene because bromine is present in the second carbon. So in case of 2-bromobutene, when we treat it with the alcoholic KOH, there are two products. This is called but2ene plus but1ene. So this is but2ene, this is called but1ene. So this is the major product, that is it is found at 81% and this is found only 19%. It means if 100 gram of this mixture is found, out of 100 gram 81 grams is but2ene and 19 gram is but1ene, and side products are same, that is KBr plus H2O. So the preferred alkene formed is in accordance with the Sedgwick rule. So there is a rule which depicts out of the products which one will be the major product, and this rule is called Sedgwick. This rule is called Sedgwick rule. So the preferred alkene formed is in accordance with the Sedgwick rule. This rule states that during the dehydrohalogenation reaction of alkyl halide, more substituted alkene is more stable and is formed in the greater yield. So what does Sedgwick rule states that? This rule states that during the dehydro during the dehydrohalogenation reaction of alkyl halide, that is RX, more substituted alkene is more stable and is formed in greater yield. So during the what does heads of rule states that? It states that during the dehydrohalogenation reaction of alkyl halide, more substituted alkane is more stable. So obviously the more stable product will be formed in the greater yield. So there are so in previous example I show you, in case of 2-bromobutane in case of dehydrohalogenation of 2-bromobutane with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, the but2ene is formed in more amount as compared to but1ene. The amount of but2ene was 81% as compared to but1ene. So the formation of these products can be explained with the help of E2 and E1 mechanism. E2 and E1 mechanism. So first of all we must know that what are E2 and E1 mechanism. E word here means the elimination. So 2 and 1 means the bimolecular. 2 means bimolecular in elimination and 1 means the unimolecular elimination. So for the E2 this is bimolecular elimination and E1 is the E1 elimination. So elimination reactions are those we are studying the elimination reaction of dehydrohalogenation, in which hydrogen and halogen are removed or lost. So these are the example of elimination reaction, and there are two type of elimination reaction, that is E2 elimination and E1 elimination. So what is E2 elimination? E2 elimination means this mechanism is for dehydrogenation of primary alkyl halide in concentrated solution of strong base. It is a single step mechanism. The attacking base OH negative removes a proton from the beta carbon and simultaneously a halide ion leaves the alpha carbon, resulting in the formation of a double bond. So halogen takes its electron pair with it and hydrogen leaves its electron pair behind to form the double bond. So first of all you have studied the chemical kinetics from the physical chemistry. So what does chemical kinetics say for the rate of the reaction? The rate of the reaction will be determined by the slowest step of the reaction. Slowest step of the reaction is the rate determining step. So E2 and E1 difference between the E2 and E mechanism is that E2 mechanism involves the single step mechanism. E2 is the single step mechanism and E1 is the double step mechanism. So in E1 mechanism the rate of the reaction depends upon the first step, and in E2 mechanism obviously there is a single step, so rate of the reaction depends upon the single step. So in E2 mechanism when this alkyl halide is treated with the, suppose this is the simplest alkyl halide, that is ethane. We will start from the simplest. So suppose this simplest alkyl halide is treated with the potassium hydroxide. What is potassium hydroxide? Potassium hydroxide is basically a base containing K positive and OH negative, and all the compounds containing OH negative are called base. So basically in case of alkyl halide, this KOH is added to the solution. Let me write it here. OH negative is generated from KOH, and this base, what does this base do? The attacking base OH negative removes a proton. Obviously, what does base do? Base requires a protons. It abstracts a proton. So OH negative removes a proton from the beta carbon. This is the alpha carbon. Let me write again here again, and this is the beta carbon. So it removes any of the hydrogen present on the beta carbon, and simultaneously halide ion leaves the alpha carbon, resulting in the formation of double bond. So this hydroxyl anion attacks this carbon and removes the proton, and this, after removal of this proton, there is the proton is removed. Proton means H positive. So in this single bond there is a pair of electron present, and electrons are basically negative charge. So this proton is removed. Proton means only hydrogen is removed with positive charge. These electrons are not removed. So these electrons goes to this carbon. So all this happens in the single step. So these electron goes to this beta carbon, and halide ion also leaves the alpha carbon, resulting in the formation of double bond. So this halide ion leaves this carbon along with the pair of electron. As I writing this arrow, this right arrow is coming from this single bond. So halide ion leaves this carbon and result in the formation of double bond. So these electrons goes to these electrons which are left on this beta carbon due to the leaving of this proton. These electron goes to this carbon which is beta carbon, and further these electron goes to the bond goes to the alpha and beta carbon, which result in because alpha carbon becomes electron deficient due to leaving of this halide ion along with these two electrons. So, or let me write here again in the small step. What happens? This hydroxyl anion remove the proton. This proton is removed, which result in this proton is removed, and hydroxyl ion converts itself into water, H2O, and this carbon becomes electron rich due to coming of these two electrons from this bond between beta carbon and this leaving hydrogen, and here removed hydrogen, and here this becomes the electron rich, whereas this halide ion also leaves the alpha carbon, resulting in the formation of electron deficiency. Here electron deficiency result in the positive charge on this carbon. So this is not a means this has not been given in a book, and this is not official, but I am telling you to make you understand the things that how this happens in microscopic steps. So this halide ions goes away, and these electrons goes to this alpha carbon and beta carbon, between alpha and beta carbon, because this carbon is electron deficient, which result in the formation of carbon-carbon double bond and formation of this ethylene. And this is a E2 mechanism. So this is the single step mechanism for the formation of alkyl halide, alkene from this alkyl halide by dehydrohalogenation. So this is the basically this happens here. This is not official, this is just I am writing here to make you understand. When you are attempting this question in paper, you are not supposed to write this thing there. So this is the basically how does E2 mechanism works for the dehydrohalogenation of alkyl halide. So let me repeat again once again. There are two mechanisms, E2 mechanism and E1 mechanism. E2 is the bimolecular elimination mechanism and E1 is the unimolecular elimination mechanism. Elimination simply means the removal. So in case of dehydrohalogenation, elimination is the general term and dehydrohalogenation is the specific term. Specific means it tells us about the elimination of hydrogen and halogen. So for the alkyl halides, there is the alkyl halide. For the alkyl halide, we can explain dehydrohalogenation with the help of this E2 mechanism, in which this potassium hydroxide, which is added to this alkyl halide, potassium hydroxide attacks the out of potassium hydroxide, this hydroxyl anion, which is a basically base. All the compounds containing hydroxyl anion are base. That is, for example, NaOH is also base because NaOH contains Na positive and hydroxyl anion. So base is the common term for the compounds containing hydroxyl anion. So this hydroxyl anion attack the beta carbon of alkyl halide. From beta carbon, it removes the hydrogen, any of the hydrogen, and converts and removal of this hydrogen result in the formation of electron rich center at beta carbon. Rich center means there is negative charge on the beta carbon, and at the same time this halide also leaves the alpha carbon along with the electron pair. So this is negative charge and electron pair on the halogen, and this leaving halogen result in this leaving halogen result in the formation of electron deficient center at the alpha carbon. So at alpha carbon, electron deficient center is present, and at beta carbon, electron rich center is present. So to get stabilize this electron rich center beta carbon gives its electron pair to the alpha, share its electron pair with the alpha carbon, and result in the formation of this double bond. So what products are formed? Products formed are KX plus H2O. H2O formed from this hydroxyl anion, and KX is formed from this already left this K positive cation plus this X negative, which left the alkyl halide. So this is the E2 mechanism for the dehydrohalogenation. So next time we will take the E1 mechanism or the unimolecular elimination reaction.